Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today's video is all about hosting your production ready Django application on AWS EC2 instance. We will use Gunicorn, Supervisor, Nginx and SSL with Certbot to make sure your deployment is secure and impressive. By the end of this guide, you will be ready to showcase your application to the world. So without wasting our time, let's get started. Before we proceed, make sure you have your Django application code ready to be deployed. If you haven't set up your EC2 instance yet, check out our previous video for guidance and creating one. You will find GitHub link for this demo Django project in the description below, or you can use any project that you have created. So let's open our SSS client Termius to connect to our EC2 instance. So here is my Termius. If you don't know how to connect to EC2 instance, you can check out this video. You will find link in the description below. So this is the demo EC2 instance which we have previously created in the previous video. So I'm going to open it. So fine, we are in the terminal of our EC2 instance. So let me clear this quickly. So we have divided this video into total 5 parts. First one is creating a user for deployment. Second, setting up a project, location, environment and repository. Third one is supervisor setup and Gunicorn setup. Fifth one is Nginx setup and configurations. And the last one is SSL with Certbot. Step 1. Make a special user account for our Django app deployment. Wondering why? It's all about supercharging security. Smooth access, efficient work, easy tracking, being compliant, smooth upkeep, and smart resource use. If this sounds complex, no stress. We might cover it in a dedicated video for beginners. Drop a comment below if you are interested. Now we will execute bunch of commands here. For executing command with me, you can pause this video and you can follow along with me. So firstly, we will update our system existing packages and dependencies. So for that, we'll execute two commands. One is sudo apt get update, and we'll specify and sudo apt get upgrade dash y. So we are executing multiple commands in single line. So as you can see, there is nothing much to update because I have already updated and upgraded my system here. So this both command done. Now we will proceed to create our new user. So first command to create new user is sudo add user and your username. So in my case, my username is TechWithVP. So this command will ask you to set up all things. So first you have to set up password for your new user. So let me enter the password. And after that, it will ask you for some basic information related to this user. So you can fill it or you can skip it. So just by pressing just enter, you can skip it. So I'm skipping all the other items. And is the information correct? We say yeah. And user has been created successfully. So second step is let's add this user to the sudo group. So I will execute one command which will add our TechWithVP user to the sudo group. So why do we need to add this in sudo group? So it will grant them administrative privileges to manage the system. So sudo user mode dash a capital G, and here we have to specify our username and the group. So sudo is our group and username is TechWithVP. So this command will add our user to the sudo group. So now we have added our user to the sudo group. So sometime if you when you change the user and you logged in with the TechWithVP or newly created user and you perform any operation or any command, and it will ask you for the password. So now we will configure this step which will prevent you to enter constantly password. So let's open a sudo ers file. So we have to execute this command sudo vi sudo, and it will open up this file. So you have to just paste one line over here, and this is just a you can say it's a command or it's a configuration command. So here below this percentage sudo, you have to specify your username, then all equal to all, no password all. So it will prevent asking you your password every time. And let's save this, control X, yes, and enter. So now we have updated our sudo vi sudo file, which is a sudo ers file. So now we have created our user, and now we will create a directory where we will host our application. So let's go to the cd home. So this is the directory where I usually host my projects for the demo. So here you can see we have created we have two users over here. One is Ubuntu and one is TechWithVP, which we have created just now. So we'll make one directory, sudo mkdir Django deployment. So in this we'll clone our repository, but it will be performed in the next step. So right now we are just preparing our user. So when we write this command, execute this command ll or ls -la, it will tell you the permission of this user. So currently this user is under root control. So we have to modify the ownership of this folder to the newly created user. So otherwise it may cause you some permission related issues. So for that we'll execute one command, which is a sudo ch own username and the group name capital R. It will change the permission inside the folder also, and the folder. Now when I click when I execute ll, it says that ownership has been changed to TechWithVP. And now the last thing, will move to the newly created user to perform rest of task. So su dash TechWithVP, in case in your case it's your user, and enter the password, and it's done. Now we are in the TechWithVP user. Step 2, setting up project location, environment and repository. Once our user is set up, we will proceed to organize our project files, set up virtual environment and clone the application repository. So first let's move on to the project directory which we have set up, cd home. Here we have set up Django deployment. Okay, so we are in this folder. So first we have to install a couple of dependencies. So let's say sudo apt get install python 3 venv python 3 pip nginx supervisor dash y. Okay, so it says dependencies are already installed. So I have already installed this dependency. So by default, Ubuntu doesn't come with the pip3 and virtual environment. So you have to install it. Same Nginx and supervisor. We'll configure it later, but we are just installing required dependencies. So now we'll clone our repository. But before cloning our repository, we have to create a virtual environment. So let's create a virtual environment here. Python 3 mvenv, and here we specify our virtual environment name, Django env, and it will create a virtual environment for us. Okay, and ls, you can see our environment has been created. Now we'll activate this env. So environment is activated, and we'll clone the repo now. Git clone and the repo url. In your case, you can clone your repository here. Okay, so our repository has been cloned successfully, and we'll go to this directory cd ai. So here you can see all the files here, requirement.txt, manage.py, and our all application. So now we'll install our required dependencies for Python. So here, as you can see, we have our requirement.txt, and I have already created requirement.txt file from the local environment. So it's easy to set up project and dependencies with this. So we'll firstly install all the required dependencies, pip3 install dash r and requirement.txt. Okay, and now it will install all the dependencies for us. So it is installing from the cache because I have already installed some dependencies to fast forward this process. Okay, so it's done. So now I already set up Gunicorn also, but in your case, if there is no Gunicorn setup and it is not installed in your requirement.txt, you can install it like pip3 install Gunicorn, and it will install Gunicorn for you. So Gunicorn is done, all the dependencies are done. Let's run this server once so we can verify the project is running successfully. Python 3 manage.py run server 0.0.0.0 and port is at 1000. Okay, so as you can see, it is running. Let's verify it. Let's copy the IP address and port. Yes, it is working fine. So now there is no error in our project. So that's why it is working fine. In your case, you have to change your code if you are getting any errors. And for the production deployment, you have to also change your settings.py file also. So let me show you. Here we have a setting.py file. And here you can see allowed host is equal to hashtag. It means we have allowed all hosts. That's why we are getting this page. If we change this to blank or any specific URL, you might cause issue while loading this page. And you can see we are running this application on 8000. If you miss the steps which we have shown in the previous videos, we have already allowed 8000 port in our security group. That's why we are able to load this page with the port 8000. So if you haven't seen that video, you can check out. Links are in the description below. So that's it for the step 2. Now we will set up our supervisor. Step 3, Supervisor and Gunicorn setup. So with our project ready, we will move to the configuration of supervisor to manage Gunicorn. This helps keep up running smoothly even after system is reboot. So it will automatically reboot your service after system reboot. So when we stop the instance, we reboot the instance, this supervisor will be responsible to restart your application. So as you know, in the step 2, we have already installed supervisor. We just need to configure it. So let's move on to the supervisor directory, cd etc supervisor confd. And here you will see there are no file. So we create one, sudo vi gunicorn.conf file. And here you have to paste some command which I am giving you. So I will explain you this command. So we are in the insert mode, and here is the code which I will give you also in the description below. So first, this is a program name and this is a group name. So we have set up program name as a Gunicorn. Then we have to specify our project directory. This is a home, Django deployment, and our project directory. And then we have to set up command. So here our command is Gunicorn worker 3 bind, and we are binding the socket over here. So we have given an absolute path over here. In your case, if you don't want to do this, what you can do is you can export Gunicorn path in the system variable. So it will help you to remove this extra lines. Then this is we are binding a app.socket here. So it is in the home, Django deployment, project directory, and app.sock. And we are running our project on WSGI application. So SMD admin, which I show you in the last step, and there is our WSGI file, and there is an application inside it. Then we have specified this auto start and auto restart. So as I said, on the reboot and restart of your instance, it will automatically start this process. And we have also specified our error logs file and output files. Then we have created a group which is a Guni program gun icon. So let's save this file. So we have set up the supervisor Gunicorn file. Now we have to make these directories to hold the logs. For that, we'll create a directory sudo mkdir. We'll create logs directory in where log, and here we'll create one folder which is a Gunicorn. So this will holds our log which I specify in this Gunicorn configuration file. So here is the directory. We if we don't create, it will give you some error that file doesn't exist, or the directory doesn't exist. So for that we have created this directory. Now we'll use sudo supervisor ctl reread. So it will, sorry, reread. So it will read our configuration file which is a Gunicorn conf file. It says yeah, service and group is available. Now we'll update it, sudo supervisor ctl update. So Gunicorn process is added to the process group, and now we will check the status. So as you can see, Gunicorn service is running and this is the PID. So now our project is running perfectly. So let's check once whether it is working or not. So now it is not working. Why? Because it is binded with the app.sock, which is a Gunicorn conf file. So now we have to set up a Nginx reverse proxy to work with these sock files. So now we'll set up Nginx. Step number 4, which is a Nginx setup. Now let's set up Nginx as our web server. Nginx act as a reverse proxy, as I mentioned in the last step. It is responsible to handling incoming request and forwarding to the Gunicorn. So now we'll configure our Nginx. So for that, let's go to the Nginx dir cd etc nginx conf d. So there are a couple of steps to set up configurations of Nginx. You can use site enables, site available folders, but in this general practice we are using conf.d. So we don't need to create any links, symbolic links for site available and site enable. So let's create a configurations file over here. So sudo vi django.conf file. You can create any file over here, any file name you want to specify, and then we have to paste some codes here. So I will give you this code also. So here is the code. So server name, here we are specifying our domain name. You can put your domain here. If you want to know how I link this domain to this instance, I will create a separate video in this on this. You can tell me in the comment below if you are facing any kind of issue. Then here is the location slash. We are binding our app.sock here, which we have already specified in the Gunicorn file. Then we are giving the static files location, otherwise it will not serve your static files. So let's save this file. So we have set up our Nginx configuration files, and now we just need to restart our Nginx file. Nginx. So sudo Nginx -t, but we'll verify, yeah, test is successful. There is no error in our configuration file. Sudo service Nginx restart. Okay, we have restarted our service. Let's see on IP first. Yeah, it is not working. And now we'll go to the domain ai.techwithvp.com. As you can see, our project is deployed successfully. If in your case, if static file doesn't work, what you can do is come to your project directory and run this command python 3 manage.py collect static, and it will collect all the static files and create a static folder here. So from where it will serve your static files. So once you refresh this, it will, all the static files are visible over here. So now we have done the configuration of our Nginx, and now we'll move on to the last step. Step number 5, SSL with Certbot. Finally, we'll add our extra layer of security by enabling SSL for our application. We will use Certbot to obtain a free SSL certificate and configure Nginx for HTTPS. So as you can see here, it is a connection not secure. It is right now it is working on HTTP. So let's try to run it on HTTPS. So it is not giving us a proper response right now because we haven't configured SSL yet. So let's configure SSL. So let me clear the screen. And here we have to install Certbot first. Sudo apt install Certbot Python 3 Certbot Nginx and -y. So Certbot also comes with the Apache, but currently we are using Nginx, so that's why we are installing Python 3 Certbot Nginx. So it will install Certbot for us, and after installing it, it is too easy to set up SSL. So Certbot has been installed, and we just need to execute just one single command to set up SSL. So sudo certbot enter, and it will ask you for the email address. You can give your any email address. Now you have to agree to that terms and condition. So let's agree, and then it will give you this domain which already you have configured with Nginx. So here we have configured ai.techwithvp.com. Select the appropriate number. So you have to select you just need to specify number over here. So first is our domain. If you have configured multiple domains here, it will give you the list of that all the domains, and you can select number accordingly. So we have entered 1, and it is requesting a certificate for ai.techwithvp.com, and it says deploying certificate successfully deployed, and now we have successfully deployed our SSL certificate. So let's check one. So here it is currently ai.techwithvp, and I'm going to refresh this. And now you can see it is redirect to the HTTPS, and here it says connection secure and verified by Let's Encrypt. So let's try to run this with HTTP only, and it is redirecting to the HTTPS. So you will say we have not configured any rule to redirect to the HTTPS. So Certbot is doing it all magic for us. So let me show you how it is working. So here we have our configuration files in etc nginxconf.d, and here you can see Certbot has added these lines over here, and it has also added the rule if host is ai.techwithvp, so it will redirect to the HTTPS. So same as it is redirecting HTTP traffic to the HTTPS. So this all thing which is managed by Certbot, and it has added all this. It has already installed the full chain. It is also installed the private key over here and everything. Congratulations, you have successfully done hosting a Django application on AWS EC2 instance along with Gunicorn, Supervisor, Nginx, and SSL. Your application is now secure, efficient, and ready to impress. So remember, while this deployment step setup might seem complex, it offers great flexibility and scalability for your application. So customize and experiment to find the best configuration for your specific needs. In the end, if you find this video helpful, please show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. Stay tuned for more exciting videos related to web deployment tutorials. So see you in the next video.